Hello everyone. Let me know if you can hear me well. I'm using the mic that's on the webcam today. Don't know if it's too much. I can turn it down. Let me know if it's too loud. If it's not too loud, please say. I'm going full power at the moment. It's going into the red a little bit, so let's bring it back a little bit. We got William N. Hello. How are you doing? Cormac Afton. Sorry. Hello. Rob Arnold, hello Tris, hi. Hi Rob, hope you're right. John Neal, hello Dad. Then we have Timbersurf, hello, howdy. Peter Healy, Tim Darnell, LNER A3 production, sorry, hello. Then we have Minnie, right, so it's Rachel, hi, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm good. The sound is apparently all good as well, so I guess. Do we start here? Do we crack on? Do we wait for a few more people? So we're good. And normally I've got a Rode mic, and I was having trouble actually connecting it up. Normally it's fine, but I just thought you use the Logitech one, and if that's good, then it's easier. One less thing hanging around. But the camera across is visible. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Can I get rid of that? Probably gonna have some trouble. Let's get to the different view. There we go. We should be good. Hopefully no disasters. So there we are. Oh no, now I've got all that stuff on the screen. Come on, give me a break. Then we've got the macro light on. Right. Are we good? We're good now, aren't we? Right. So we got John Post. We'll call you John. He said, hello, can someone help me with signals? I want to add signals on my layout, and I do not know how to do or wire them up. Well, if you're going to be using the, obviously, electronic controlled ones, it's 3 wires, I think, 4. 2 are power, I think. I can't remember whatever it is. No, so you power one, and it's like a normal point motor, I can't remember, and then it just goes up one way, go down the other way. It's quite simple. Then they got the instructions with it as well. We're playing with some at the Model Hour Club to see if they work. Hello, Smallwood Junction. I hope you're alright. Oswald Street Road, TMD. Hi, how are you doing? Ethan R. Hello, good evening. Timbersurf, that's you again. Yeah, and we're all good now, aren't we, on the screen? It's just got my macro bit that comes up, but fine. I'm alright with that. Phil Railway ran well. Hi, Tris. I hope all is well. You can live with a flower. That's good. Right. So, for any of you that are tuning in after the live stream, hi. Big thanks for coming in, because obviously you can't, interact, but you can leave a comment. If you do have any questions or wonder what's going on or whatever, and yeah, just leave a comment in there. Hit the like button as well. And if you like what I do and want to see some of my other videos come up in the future, then hit subscribe. It doesn't hurt, yeah. And I'd like to do a big start by saying, not big start, but start by saying thank you to my patrons and channel members. You know who you are. Thank you so much for the support that I've had so far. So I thought I'd get that out of the way, and then we get on with some building. I went to Tony's Trains. You'll see if you've been watching my videos, I've been picking up these. I've got loads of them in my drawer and other ones. And I was thinking, what should I do? I do a live stream. Hello, Dinmore. Hope you're okay. I thought, what should I do? And I think just build another one of these. They're easy enough. All you need is some liquid poly cement. I use a paintbrush now. I got a person left a comment saying about using a paintbrush to apply it, because the bristles on this, they kind of like, it's like they carry like a litre of glue. Like you try and put a little bit on and it's too much. So yeah, so that's the Humbrol liquid poly. So I've got that, and then you've got a knife blade, which is good. It's sharp, obviously. Watch yourself, don't cut yourself. So cut away and stuff like that. I've been finding that's the best tool. You can use side snips, but what you do find sometimes is it can mush up the area that you're working on, and we don't want to mush anything up. We could repair it maybe, but we don't want to do that. And then the essential tweezers. Tweezers are very handy. They're good for putting things in the right places, manipulating, and it's it's good. And then there's some files really, just to clean up those edges if you need to. Though you can use, if you're careful, the edge of the knife blade to kind of carefully score it. I think on this kit, I might be wrong, and I can't see them on this one, but on some of the other kits they had metal buffers that push into the end of the van, and the only issue is poly cement isn't really going to be a thing to stick them on. So I've got super glue on standby, but I think these may be plastic, but who knows. But that'll be the only thing that we need different glue for. So getting these out, they normally come with instructions, and they seem to vary based on when they were made, because Parkside, from what I understand, I've got another bag with it. I'll just grab one out. There's one over here. I've got one here. Nope, it's here. I can't find. There it is. Messy, messy, messy. So this is Parkside, the people that did all these kits before, and I understand obviously they either went down, went bust, or whatever, or the people that were doing it have moved on, and so Pico have been brilliant at taking on these brands, and there's various companies like Dark Castings which have taken on various brands, Wizard Models, and there's numerous companies that are kind of combining all these small companies to be able to access these fantastic kits. Because the Dundas is also this. So you've got Parkside Dundas. I don't know all the ins and outs for these things, but you've got those two types. So here you've got Pico, that's Parkside by Pico. So it looks like Pico took that on. I don't know if Dundas was taken on by someone else. Maybe that's said differently. Maybe it's a Welsh word, so it's said differently. But anyway, that's that. So with the instructions, what you might get is the original instructions that were there, just with Pico slapped on. I've had a few more comments in. Cormac, Caffron. I found a Hornby for £130. A Hornby Flying Scotsman, sorry. Don't apologise. That's all right. So what was it? Because that sounds like you've paid some top dollar there for something. I don't know what that is. But looking inside here, guys, as you would have seen when you've seen other ones of these, it's all simple. Like, if you've always thought, do you know what, I want to build a van, because that's what this is. This is it's a PC48 code, but it's Great Western Mink G goods van, and there's various ones, Mink D and blah 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 through the alphabet, and they all have slight differences and various things. The beauty of getting these, as I've said on the video that I did a bit more work on these, is once you've built it up, you don't have anything like it out of like kind of rolling stock you can buy online. The negative about, you buy all the vans that are available on Great Western Livery, let's say, is you end up buying the same ones again, and fine, you can go and scratch off some of the identifications and re-identify it to a different number, but they'll all be the same size. So going through the Coopercraft kits, you've got with the other ones, you've got the Daypole kits as well. Building them up allows you to have more of a collection. But when you come to the Parkside ones, it's like that next step on. You've got this, you've got a higher kind of mix of vans you're kicking around. And so the two that I've got in the layout at the moment I really like, because they're just different. So I'm going to build this one next. It's similar to the ones that I've done. Looking on the inside, you can see it tells you what to do. The Great Western goes there. It's got various instructions. It's not highly detailed. It doesn't go, oh, this is where you put everything. But like looking at the parts, it's not so bad. So they've got words, tell you what to do. It says, what do you need? Well, you'll need a craft knife. Okay, we've got that. Tweezers, we've got that. A light file. Well, this one isn't too heavy. Then we've got liquid cement and adhesive and glue and paints and stuff like that. So we got some Loctite there. I've got paints, but we probably won't be doing that tonight. But I'll go through it. The assembly, it's all simple. Hey, David Cook, hope you're okay. Because there is, okay, so they're normally like £200. Okay, then I hope you're happy with it, Cormac. Cormac's got himself a Flying Scotsman. Fantastic. Anyway, so with this, what have we got? We've got a roof. Right, you got a bit of a sprue attached to that. So when I got them off the other ones I've done previously, you have the issue of having some like you get to see the where you've cut it out. It kind of, it's like the sprue's quite connected to that. But it'd be nice if the sprue was on like the square end or something. But then it probably wouldn't fill so nicely. So fine. Then we've got like the main base, which obviously all the sides are going to go onto. So we've got one side here. We've got little lips here. We've got the buffer ends are actually built in, which is quite cool. You can see, yeah, it looks kind of good. Okay. What if the camera is bright enough? I'm gonna go. I don't know if that's made it any brighter or darker. I've got lots of light on everything, so hopefully it seems light enough for you. Oh, yeah. So I think we're good. Right. So we've got an end, we've got a side, we've got an end and a side. So they're both the same by the look of it. And then we've got a little sprue here, which you've got like your vacuum pump here. You've got your brake bits here. You've got the side frame there, which is going to hold your wheels. And in here you get your wheels. So you've got obviously your little brass bushings that can pop in and make it run nice and free. And the last thing that you get with it, last but not least, is you've got the great resting bits for each side. You've got your identifiers. So if you get more than one of these, you'll have the option to have that set of numbers, and the next one you do, if you have the same again, you can have that set of numbers. So you can make them individual, and you can work out what else you want to put on. I think the rest of it, some of that's for, I guess if it's BR. So that's that, but the water side. But we'll do that maybe another day. Maybe we'll come back on and paint it up together. But there's nothing more boring than watching paint dry. So what I always do whenever I get one of these is cut out all the parts, and that's simple enough. All we're going to do is get the knife out. I'm going to be careful first of all not to cut ourselves, cut away from yourself, and not damage the part that you want to keep. So what you can do, like when you're cutting, if I want to zoom in a bit more, I'm going to zoom in there. Let's see if that's too far. I'm going to cut away from the part that I want. So then there's a little bit left over that I can then trim off. I feel like that's not working. Is that a bit close? Let's come back a bit. Let's see how we're doing. Kind of get you in views, always helpful, isn't it? So do it 50 there. There we go. Right, we're good. That's a bit closer now. It's a bit easier to see what you're going to do. Quick question, are these kits still being sold? Yes, 100%. If you go and check out, there's loads of model shops with it. I got these from Tony's Trains of Rugby. He might not have them on the website, but he's got them in the shop, so give him a call. When you go to Model Railway shows, you'll find absolutely loads of these. You'll either find them in the bag form. Alright, so this is another one. But this is in the bag form, you get all your bits in there. Or it's in the box form, as you've seen on this one. I don't know if I've got any more boxes. Here's one more here. Here's another one I need to do. A bloater fish fan. Great Western Railway one here. So they're the two ones. But look on Pico's website and then have a little look. Tris, when super glue is used, how do you stop the bottles from clogging up? Okay, so I don't know all the tricks, but I know like when you talk about clogging up, sometimes it's the fact that this top bit won't unscrew, right? And that can be a pain. What you can do, if you've got any, is find some grease or oil and put them on the threads, and that's a really good little trick there. So then when you screw it up, it's always going to be fine. It's not going to get in the way of what you want to do, but it means that you'll always be able to undo it. As for the end, that's harder. Normally in the cap you have a little needle, so can you see the needle in the bottom of that little pointy bit? That will normally leave you with a hole, but what you'll see is there's some crustacean on the end, and so if you can, just break it off from time to time because it goes hard. Break that off, then your end's nice and clean. Screw your top back on and you should be good. You know, as long as you're doing that, obviously don't leave it in a really hot place, so then it goes and cures. And then really cold places, I think in normally places where it doesn't cure. And obviously make sure it's sealed up. And if you're not going to use it for a while, you can put it in a seal up bag to stop any air kind of creeping in. But that's a bit of advice about super glue. I hope that helps you, Phil. Hello, Mark Littlejohn. So yeah, so I'm just going to de-sprue all of these. Hopefully you can see we get it all on view there. There we go. That's that one. We'll come back and clean it up, shall we? Or shall we do it as we go? So I'm going to cut away from myself. And don't cut into it. Kind of cut away when you do it. So it's like, you know, if you've ever shaved pieces of wood, you'll see that you're peeling away. So you're not cutting in. Even then I have a small indent. See what bits are loose. So this one, it's not too much to do there. And if you feel like actually slicing in will hurt me a little bit, all I do is I grab a file, I find the straight edge, okay, and I just work the edge along just gently. Don't put lots of force in. It'll come off basically by tickling it. So run that across there, nice and easy. If you're new to all this and you don't really have any of the crafting skills, don't be afraid. Let's say your first one goes absolutely terribly and you think, oh, I'm never going to do one of these again. All you've done is you've just learned a lot of things, haven't you? And there's nothing wrong with that. With me doing these, I might maybe making some of these, I may be making the process seem easy. But my first ones, I made lots of mistakes. And even then, the ones that I show you, I pretty the videos up a bit more. I don't show you my little mistakes I've made because I've glued it on slightly wrong. But the key is just take your time. And if you don't want to take your time, then rush through it. And then hopefully you learn. So next time you rush through it, you do it really, really well. So yeah, don't stress too much about any of this building. Yes, it's nice to go and buy an already built wagon or van, but there's a lot of satisfaction in this process. Right, that's the roof cleaned up. Looking at the base, that's already been clipped off for me, but there is residue marks from where they've clipped it off the sprue. So what we're going to do, clip the file and run that over the top again. Just clean it up bit by bit, and that's that edge done. And then we do the other one. It's always good to do this because if you do it, if you're doing the building stage and then you think, oh no, there's a little lumpy bit there stopping the bit from sitting flat, then you'll realise you should have done it before, and it's very wise too. So again, I'm just taking off anything that I think, yeah, that shouldn't be there. Sometimes you get flash, which is when there's two things. Some of these tools are old, so when they force that really thin, soft plastic into this mould tool, and you've got the sandwich together bit of steel, when that bit of steel has a gap like here on my fingers, it will pass through that gap as well. And so they sometimes over age get some gaps, or it's not a perfect tool, doesn't shut off properly, and you get a bit of flash there anyway. This tool seems to be pretty nice. I have had some by other manufacturers. A lot of the Parkside ones I found have been good, but you will find from time to time, like on here, on this the cylinder for the brakes, there's a load of flash just around here, and that's not so good. We don't want to have that, do we? So that's something that you could then work off, and we just slice off. You could bend it off whatever you like. You're not really going to see this is sitting underneath it, but clean off all the bits of flash. All right, so we've got some people saying hello to each other. I'm going to have a sip of my drink because I've been talking a lot. I see. Cormac, so you live in Ireland and your closest model shop is in Dublin. I see. So it's pretty hard for you. I get that. Oswestry Road. Hi Timber. It's a pity that Daypol don't expand the coach kit range. It depends how much Daypol want to invest in all that, I guess. They've been working on new locos and things, so I guess at some point you'll have maybe some new releases. Hi Tris, I know your 009 isn't your main scale, but I discovered you via your narrow gauge line work. Have you considered any of the impending 009 logos? Double fairlies do look nice. I haven't seen the Small England. And the Quarry Hanslets, there's lots of nice logos. The only issue is I haven't done any more with that layout. And I wanted to go DCC, and I've got like these tiny chassis. And I got some DCC chips, and I want to put DCC chips in them, and that's a project for another day. Once I've done that, I'll probably get back into it because I know it'll run better if I can get Stay Alive in it. Help it run on my extremely poorly laid track. So that's something to deal with later on. So I'd like to get something, but I've got ideas to do some more 3D printed loco shells and everything for them, and go from there. So that's something for another day. I never really finished off my narrow gauge layout, did I? I started doing some work on my turntable and I wanted to automate it. My friend made me a box so I could automate, but with the mechanism to do it, I did some design work, but I didn't do anything more. So that's something that I will get round to at some point. So I'm just cleaning up this little bottom piece. we're just cutting off these sprues because there's a lot of delicate parts I find on these that are really close to where the sprues finish, and there's a bit of fear that you're going to damage the bit that you want to keep, and there's no fun in that, is there? Alan Baker. Hi Tris, are you tempted to try 3D printing your own wagon kit? Like an actual kit that I would sell? If I'm honest, I wouldn't want the pressure. I've got a few ideas of doing loco bodies. I've got some of the 040 chassis that I've been doing some work on. So you've got like this little beauty. I was going to be designing like hopefully what I felt was a nicer shape to kind of look good here. Hey Anfield Road, hey Lee, how you doing? And hey Alan Reynolds, hope you're doing alright. Yeah, so I want to do a body for one of these sometime. I've been drawing up. I just need to print it, but my printer's broken at the moment, so that's a bit of a pain. So, Oswestry Road, TMD, I would like to see some Great Western Railway passenger full brake kits and Colic catering vehicle to fill up the gaps that the Hornby embankment left. I'd first of all, if I made something, it would have to be to a fantastic standard to be worthy of asking people for their pennies, wouldn't it? I think if I put the time in, I did things properly, yeah, I could probably do something half decent. But then even if you did something really great, you've then got to somehow sell it and market it, get it out there at a volume. Let's say it was popular. That's a big problem. I've got a day job. You know, I'd have to be giving up a bit of that spare time. Obviously, at the moment, this is a hobby. We have a bit of fun. I'll come and chat on here with you guys, and I'll go, let's say, dare I say, call it, play trains in the loft. And I love it. As soon as you start turning it into too much, because I'm already quite busy with the YouTube thing, but I've got loads of ideas, because I've got a bit of a portfolio of things that I've already done. I was thinking, I could just print them off and sell them. And maybe I will one day, but I'll be running the risk of taking away the enjoyment of the hobby. And that's why I'm doing it, because I race RC cars, and, well, I'm alright at it, but I do it for my job in regards to design the cars. And the reason I started doing the model railways is because it got a bit too much. It still is a bit too much sometimes, but the model railways keeps me sane. So I don't want to get into that slippery slope of making my hobby my job. Right, let's grab the other side there. Again, all this stuff is just take your time. See, this bit's broken here. Either I break it or it didn't fill properly and there's a crack. But we can glue that back together. You want to sit these off from behind here. Again, it mushes it a little bit. They're flush cut cutters, but it should be right. There we are. I don't know when this was designed, but it might be designed in a time that they didn't have as much, I don't know, CAD to then observe how it would be done. When you're joining up the little bits that you have to cut off, they became quite dominant. It'd be nice if the feeds were like a fraction smaller. There we are. Oh, I've got a poor little broken bit here. I should really be doing this in camera, keep you guys happy. So you've been selling them on eBay, have you, Timber Surf? How's that been going? Have you been enjoying yourself with it? What kind of things are you selling? Anything fun? You're welcome to put a link on Timber Surf of anything that you've been, you know, a link to your eBay, so then people can have a little look. They're on here already. Algae 4, very cool little chassis. Most of those mentioned are DCC ready. I see, yeah. Would you be interested in seeing, would be interested in seeing you return to your narrow gauge plans? But very much understand there's a lot of other hobbying to do. Yeah, so I want to. It's on my mind. It's been on my mind for ages. But you know, when you do something, you want to do it properly. So I did a certain amount. I'm like, right, that's done. What do I do now? And I kind of have some ideas of what I want to do now, but we'll find out if I ever do them. Yeah, it's going to happen. So we'll just clean up these top edges. Another question. Oh, hi Tris, do you have a 28XX? I think I was asked a question about my 7200 as well. I do have a 28XX, my freight loco. I've also got a Night Owl. Is that a 28XX? whichever. I basically got both of the boiler types. I got the one that's got the king boiler on it, and then I've got the one that's got the longer, what looks like a manor boiler, that's long on it. So they're very cool. But I've also got a 72XX, which if you follow my Instagram, if you don't already, check out Neal on my Instagram. And I've got it at the Model Hour show, but I had lots of issues because I should have checked at the show, but there was bits missing, which isn't good when you're trying to build up something. It had buffers gone. There's a filler cap missing. I put a coal load in myself, and then what else? Oh, the steps on the side to go up to the coal bunker. One of them was missing on the other side, so I had to fit them in. So yeah, the Timber Surf's just put his eBay link on. So if any of you fancy looking to see what he's been doing and selling, check that out. Go and have a look on his page. Cool, Mac. I think a beginner should get Great Western Railway 04A. What you need to do is get one of these and paint it up in Great Western Railway. What I want to do for a video is what I call is Spindonize this. So it's going to get painted Great Western colours. So I was thinking cut the doors out and, I don't know, have some fun with it. Nice big coal load. Put various bits and details on, and some there'll be the handlebars on the side, a proper smoke box door handle on it. Do some bits because this is basically like a Thomas type thing. I want to cut this bit off, but I think it encroaches in some of the area there. So I was thinking, do we make this a bit longer? But then can I blend that in nicely? Put some proper steps on here. I don't know, we could do some cool stuff to this to make it look a bit more modern. Yeah, that's something for another day. Not today, but we should do it, shouldn't we? Be lots of fun. I can't find any coaches on the Depot website. They may have stopped selling them. Okay, and a Barker. Maybe not kits to sell, but rather make your own instead of purchasing kits from Pico. Yeah, there's a lot of the time it's nice that if you do 3D printing, it means that if you draw one, you can do many and have some fun. But yeah, I'd like to do a number of things. It's just time, really, especially if you need to draw it up. That takes a fair chunk of time. Let's get some more of these bits off. Right, that's off there. And that's that. We'll get on with that. I guess you don't want me to rush through it too much, otherwise you'll have nothing to look at. So with the buffers, I can't see. Oh, they're here. So that's the buffer ends there, little plastic ones with a little bit of flash on, which isn't best, and I think it'd be alright. So that will be our buffer ends just there, that'll be going into them. So we'll stick them on afterwards. Right, let's clean these up anyway, see how it's going. Thank you, Oswestry Road. I can't really afford or justify, even if I could afford, the new locos half the time. I buy ones that I fall in love with, but you pick something up for, I don't know, 70 quid that needs some work or it's a bit out of date. You can turn it into actually a model that you're more impressed with or enjoy more than a new one that you buy. I don't know, it's all quite dear, the prices out there, and I'm happy to pay it if I want that logo, but sometimes it'd be nice to buy some because you think, oh, I like that one a little bit, I'll buy that, but then it's going to be like, sorry, how much? No, I will not pay that much for it. So then you don't. Right, let's get these. We've got some round little ringlets here. I don't know what they're for. They must be for something, so we won't throw them away. So there, that's that. Algae 4, David Cook. They look great, but I need to build a diorama scene to display the fairly on. I see. Alright, they don't take long to clean up. They're pretty nice. And then we got our ends. There we are, that's on there. These little ringlets, I'll find out what they are needed for. They'll probably tell me in a minute. The one negative about like the instructions on these is they don't tell you necessarily all the parts. So you've got A, B, E, D, 5, 1. Yeah, so it's, I guess we'll read the instructions and build as we go and see if the instructions are pretty good and that. Because, you know, modern day instructions, there's, you know, step-by-step things showing pieces going to each other. This is in old type numbers, so you'll have numbers, instructions, so you'll have that issue if you're not already used to it, of not knowing where anything goes. But I've done a couple of these now, so I'm getting used to it. So I'm just going to cut out the small little parts. This is a little handbrake lever, and we'll put that somewhere safe. I'm just going to clean it up. There's a lot of diddy parts here. Again, it's hard not to cut into yourself. If you're worried, just get the file out and do the work. But sometimes the edge of the knife, you can just pick off the offending bit of flash. But if you're a youngster and you're not really know how to use a knife, then it's a file and side cutters for you. Keep yourself safe. If you do want to use a knife and you're nervous, just take your time. You know, don't do anything silly. It's only soft. Right. The funny thing is, this says Cormac Afton, sorry. The only thing is, I'm thinking of doing something just like that, to the same model, just making an Irish Rail version of the 050 E2. Then you should, and you shouldn't not. Yes. I'm going to leave these on the numbers actually, because it tells you which ones are what. And if I go and use them, if I cut them off now, I won't know where they're meant to go. So I'm going to leave them on here for now. We'll start doing the main bit. So on assembly, it says assemble body by attaching the ends to the floor. Okay. The floor rests on the backs of the buffer beams. Okay, so we have an end and an end, and the back of the buffer beams is just here. We've got a little spoggly bit sticking out there, and the floor is here. Whilst I'm making a mess, take a drink. I'm glad that you liked my video on the Holden tank engine. I just thought it's such a shame it's not like a high detailed jobby. Would have been good if it was. Right, so we're going to stick that on here, and it rests on there. So you've got an edge here, and that will basically butt up to here. Alright, and you're just going to make sure it's in the centre of those two, and that it's square. You know, you can use something to help you with that. I'll be going by eye. So we've got our glue, and this normally cranks out quite a lot. Hello Christopher Jameson. So you can take a lot off here, okay, so you haven't got much, and you're just going to run it across the end. And this stuff's smelly, so you do it in a well ventilated room. Ventilation is always good when it comes to nasty chemicals and things. So first of all, I will come on this way and just try and make it so I sit it in the middle. You can make a good judgment here. So you can see here, it's about in the centre. If it's not, if you really had to, you could put some glue on it again and reposition it. But that's pretty much dried, you know. That's not falling off. Put the right amount of glue on, it adheres to both and it holds it in position. And that's now holding it nicely. It's 90 degrees, so that, if you really wanted to, you could hold it over the square lines and go, yep, that looks good to me. You know, eyeballing does get you a long way in life. If not, you could get a square out and sit up against it and do it, but that's a pretty good angle. A 30-year-old Holden tank, I mean. Oh, a 30 or 3 years, I'm sure it'll look just as good whichever one you do. Have you considered doing any little 009 versions of Great Western Railway rolling stock? If you check out some of my old videos, you'll see some. I've done a little towed brake van in the Great Western Railway livery for the 009, which is kind of cool. You'd have to look at some quite old ones. And then I've converted wagons into Great Western as well. Yeah, that's it really. I'm going to paint up some coaches, I think in Great Western colours at some point. But yeah, we'll see. I'm guessing 009's really popular. Maybe it's the reason why half of my subscribers are on the channel and I've disappointed ever since. Maybe I should do a bit more. But anyway, we'll put this buffer stop back on here. Not buffer stop, but buffer ends on here. I can make sure it's in the centre. So that's about... no. Let's come over a bit more there. Oh, so that's that. We'll just make sure it's at the correct angle. Just have that sitting there. It's nice having these lines here because you can put it on there and you can get a reference edges, you know, you can eyeball it better when it goes together. Tom Couples, hello, hope you're doing alright. What's here, Nick? Oh, looks like there's been some customerage going on between Timber Surf and Nick Fortes. Right, okay, so now these are together. It says cement sides into place. Okay, so we've got our sides and we're going to pop these on. I won't be sticking the roof on tonight because I'll be adding some weight on the inside. But what I do is I lay it up to have a little look to see how far it goes on. So where is the flush point? Well, actually what you'll find is there's an edge just here. I've got a little fly in here. Maybe I can get it. Little bugger. I don't know. It's probably going to come back. But there's some edges that you'll see. There's one here and one here. So when you put it on, it falls into the place where it's meant to be. So you can't get that bit wrong. But what we're not going to use is this nozzle here. I got a tip off someone that was making a nice comment on my channel. And just use a little paintbrush so you can control. And all you do is you're going to walk it across here. So you don't have too much. Okay. Just make sure you're on. Then do the other side. Okay. Just make sure I've got enough on there. And it means you've got more control. An old paintbrush, fine. And what they also said to me was, if that paintbrush goes harder, will you just keep it for whenever you're doing this stage and it will soften back up. So what I do is I come across here. It's nice and easy. And I haven't gone everywhere with the glue. And it means you can be delicate and careful. Right, put that aside. Then I'm going to stick this on. That sits there. Lovely jubbly. Gentle pressure. Just make sure it's going together. And don't stress if something's not kind of glued straight away. You can always come in and touch in a bit more glue afterwards. Just make sure there's no gaps. And you should be alright. So that's looking tidy. We've got that side on here. This bit could do with a bit more on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit more glue here. I'm going to run it up this edge here. Okay. We haven't got too much. We're not melting all the plastic. We should be okay now. I still need a little bit on here. But the main thing is you're in control, you know. If you end up pouring glue over everything, then you're going to run into trouble, aren't you? Well, I do normally. And I get far too much glue in the wrong places. So we'll let that dry for a minute, and then we'll flip over to the side. Right. Tris. Design and print a wide bottom holder for the glue. Oh, okay, that's also a good idea. They wouldn't be very fun if that fell over. But they're quite sturdy though, these ones. Excuse me. Let's go have a drink. Thank you, Lee. Right. JMO Arts. Ah, yes. Sorry, remember that now. Just saw the wagon instructions behind your hands and thought it must be it just been shrunk to fit 009. I see. I see. Right. Let's make sure I don't miss anything. I've just seen a muck spreader on Facebook that someone has done a great job of mucking up. Oh, okay. Right, so that seems good to me. This plastic's very soft and reacts a lot to the glue, so just make sure you don't put too much on. Hello, DLT Berkshire. Hey, Trish. What would you think if Hornby released a model of Lady of Legend, aka the new build Great Western Railway Saint class? It'd be cool, and it'd be fitting, you know, the fact that there's one out there. Yeah, I can't see why it would be a bad thing for them to do. they can have my money. Well, I just have to wait until it's at a good price. I'd probably wait until it's yeah, you pick up a bargain somewhere. The engines I'm looking forward to is there's a 1500 Great Western Railway one. Well, it's a BR. It's the American style kind of frame. Rapido trains are doing it, and it looks fantastic. It really does. So that's a logo that I'd like to get when it comes out. So you've got a triple holder with slots for the lids. Okay, I can't really think how that looks, but it sounds pretty good when you say the words triple holder. It's like, cool. Right, so we'll just rest these on, let it dry. The also good thing about, I think, making sure this goes together square, I don't know how much it affects it, but I don't always wonder if the base twists out, because some of my other ones, they don't sit perfectly flat, and it's just kind of like, oh, that's a shame. But I don't think it's this stage that does it. But we'll let that dry for a little bit longer and go from there. Nearly proved right then. I don't know what you mean, timber surf. Right. See how we're looking. It looks alright. It's together, it's one piece. Could do a little bit more glue down these edges. Let's let that dry. Put a little bit on here as well. There we are. Any model railway shows for anyone this weekend? Is there anything on? I know at the end of the month there's a Worley one, which should be pretty good. DOT Berkshire say, did you know the Kernow Rail Centre is making a model of the Great Western Railway steam rail motor? Okay, that's cool. Available in says DC and DCC sound. Okay, that'd be cool. That's true. I'm alright. I know where it is. I know where it is. Should be good. If I knock it over on stream, that'd be embarrassing, won't it? Right, that's now together, so that's good. So, it says, press the brass bearing cups into place in axle box holes in the sole bar mouldings. Attach sole bars to underside of the floor. Alright, let's do it. So we'll get them out. Hi, are you also looking to get Daypole Prairie and compare it with the Hornby one? I don't have that much money to have two prairies kicking around. I'd rather spend that money on something else. But it'd be interesting to see what the differences are. Right, I think these are metal wheels that come with it, which is nice. Pretty spiky on the ends. That's my brass bits that are going to go on, if you can see them at all. I don't know how bright it is for you on the camera. It doesn't look bright enough for me when I look at the screen. But if it's bright enough for you, then great. I'll pop that back on there so I don't kind of make myself get high on stream. So we have these two sides. One of them is slightly damaged, but I'm going to glue it at the end. I can accept it as how it is at the moment. So we'll drop these in. Though I think I'll probably have to push them. What I do is I'll go this way around. Get my soft thumb on there, so that pushes that little insert in, as you can see there. Alright, so that's in. And then we'll do the next one. So we'll point that one up this time. Pop this down here. Oh, not in all the way there. Hurt your thumb a bit doing that, actually. But they could be in further. Do I get some pliers with some tissue behind it? And we come here. You'll be shouting, no, don't do it. I'm doing it. No, I think that's in all the way. Is the other one in all the way? No, we can go in a bit further on that one as well. Okay, that's enough. So that's in there. I'm using the tissue to stop the serrations and everything damage it. So we'll do the next two as well. Timber Surf. Phil, hello Phil. Can you help a novice? I have a DC locos and would love to convert them to DCC. Are there any instructions out there? There is loads. If you go on the YouTube, there'll be lots. There'll be magazines and various things. It's simple enough because it's 4 wires ultimately that get you to work. You have 2 wires that pick up the pickups on the engine, and then you have 2 wires that go to the motor. That's ultimately it. It's pretty simple. You just have to disconnect where the pickups go directly to the motor. On some old locos, they have split chassis, a bit more involved, but it's quite simple when you do it, especially if you're doing a hardwire. Maybe I'll do a video on it one day, but there's lots of other people that have done it. So if you just type in how to convert DC to DCC, you'll find so many things very easily. I promise you on that one. That's not on completely straight. Right. There we go. So we have our inserts in there. Timbersurf. There are 2 near me: St Andrew's Church, Teal Road, Tealhulme, Cheshire, and All Saints Hall Church. Oh, there's a few going on, aren't there? So that's model railway shows you're saying there, Timbersurf. And that's all this weekend. Fantastic. DOT Berkshire, have you thought about getting a 1361 class saddle tank? Well, I've not been too interested in them, but I've got a 1366. Yeah, I've got 3 of them, in fact. I've got a white metal built one, and then these ones by Helian. And they're not the best runners. Like, if you look at the buffers, look how far they stick out. It's something I've been meaning to fix and make it so it sits further back. And it's a nice enough loco. It's cute and small, but a terrible, terrible runner. It jams up when it's going around and various things. I've not been too impressed by its running quality, but maybe it's something I could fix in the future. Who knows? I just need to sneeze. Excuse me. You looking forward to seeing Pendennis Castle in Steam? Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Where's it going to be debuting? Right, we're going to stick on the frames on the bottom here. For those who've tuned in more recently rather than earlier, I'm building a kit by Parkside. Check out the beginning of the video because you'll be able to see a bit more about it. And you'll, be a bit more knowledgeable in regards to what else you can get that's out there and a little bit more of the history of it. But it is this one. It's the Mink G Goods van. It's the Pico ones, and it was originally Parkside models. And they took them on from everything I understand. Right, now we're going to stick these on. So we have this one this side, and that will wedge in here. Okay, hopefully. Could do a bit more glue down the centre there, really. I'll do a little bit of that first. And then we'll stick it on, because I can put a bit of pressure on there. Let's get that in there. Let that dry. There's me talking about don't put too much on, and I don't put enough on. Okay, just squash that together. Silky Track, hello. Only just seen this was happening. I hope it all is good with you. I'm doing alright. I understand Donegal Dad's got a stream on tonight as well. So I don't blame you if you want to go and see him. If you normally go see him. I'm put a bit of glue in here. I always check out his stream when I've got time. I don't always comment on many people's ones because I've normally got it on the background like a few of you probably already got. So, because I've got like, it says 43 people watching, but, you know, I've got about 10 people commenting. I'm going to click on your link in a second, Timbersurf. Whilst this is drying, let's have a look. So, Uh-oh. Let's have a look here. Oh, I see. Ah, that's a good idea. And you've got something to put the lids on. I like that. That's cool. Matthew Gilks. Fantastic. Did you tell him that you went because of me? You know, I'm hoping I might get some discount when I next go there. If I'm lucky, anyway. You'll be like, here's 0% off. Oh, fantastic. At least I've got something off, huh? Right, that's now glued. We're going to pop these in place. And they're going to sit here. You've got the little edges here on the frame, so it's nice and easy. It just pops in and it rests against there. So I'll put both in just to see what the dry fit's like. It's alright, but a little bit tight. But tight doesn't mean it's not going in, so fantastic, it's in. I too collect 00 gauge trains myself, but mostly models of preserved steamers, and as of now I've got 4 steam locos, 12 coaches and 3 dozen wagons. Quite a collection. Yes, that is quite a collection. Right, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on. Oh, I just put way too much there. There's me talk about being good with glue. And I said like a pool build up there, but luckily it's underneath. You won't lose any detail from that. And I'm gonna add in afterwards. All right, we're gonna add it in afterwards. Anything that needs to go in. So get that in there. We want it to sit flush with the bottom, and so basically we want it to end up being square. So I just want to make sure it's sitting on it properly. Okay. If it's not, there's a chance that we won't have a very square chassis. And we don't want that, do we? What I might do is try and fix this little bits whilst we're here. Alright, that's on the end there. Be good to glue that. Yeah, bit of pressure on this. Going to hold that together. You can't see it on camera. I do apologise. I need to keep it within the window of the camera, don't I? Should have a little square marked out on here so you can see. Sukudrak, what did you think of the Gaydon show compared to the MK1? So the Gaydon show, I was really worried that actually it would have everything that was at the MK show. It's just I see it all again, same load of layouts. But I don't remember seeing any of the same layout, if I'm honest with you. I was quite impressed with it. Some fantastic layouts. It didn't have a lot of people there when I was there anyway. The quantity of people at MK was huge. Excuse me. But with the one at Gaydon, it wasn't as big. Maybe because it was in a smaller hall, people were a bit more nervous, or they'd had their fill in the MK1 and thought that's it for this year. But I enjoyed myself. They had some decent traders there. I particularly enjoyed one trader. Grab some bits out my box. Got these white metal bits, and I'll be painting these up on the videos. But check them out. It's called P&D Marsh, and for £4.60, loads of people here. So this is like mixed people, so just various people. So I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's say people in there. £4.60, and they've got cool things like you've got, what does it say? It's all handwritten here as well. So it's loaded platform, trolley, and a porter with luggage. So I've got a cool little trolley and a porter. That's a £5, but I'm thinking that's worth it. You know, someone's drawn them up and made them. And then this really cool one where you got a little cat on some boxes, a drum, and a gas canister there. That's £4.35. Then there's people sitting down again. So they've got £4.60 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, fantastic. And then the last one is Loco Crew, and there's 2 lots in there for £4.40. And so that's P&D Marsh. They've got a website, pdmarshmodels.com, if you want to check them out. I love the little white metal models, and they even paint them up, you see. So you can buy these little sets here. So that's the porter. Slightly different to the one that I've got down there, or maybe it's exactly the same, who knows. I'll have to have that on a different area. But that's £8.70, so for £3, someone's painted everything up for you. So it's like cool. I might finish it off a little bit because they've, you know, It's done to a certain quality, but if you want it to be a high quality, then you can continue yourself if you think you're good enough. So that's kind of cool. So P&D Marsh Models, check them out. That was one of my favourite stores. They had loads of things there. I would have bought more, but I thought, no. I've spent enough. So yeah, pop that back in my little drawer. Right, that's that. Thank you, Timbersurf. Fantastic work. Name and Flame, hello. DLT Berkshire, Trish, I bet your layout would look great with a Rod 3000 class. My dad's got one of them, I think. I don't know. It's one of the Swindenized ones. Looks very, very nice. My layout needs to be twice the size to have freight locos looking cool going around it. One of my issues is I always feel like as soon as the freight's got on the straight, it's going around a corner again, and yet the other end of it's still going around the corner. So it's always kind of like, oh, I need a layout that's, you know, at least another 4 meters in length. Be good, wouldn't it? Right. Let's put a bit more glue on here. How are we doing for time? What have we done so far? I can't even see how long we've been online chatting so far. Who knows? Anyway, let's glue this on. Oh, it's an hour. Been on an hour. Came on at past. Right, let's get this on. And I need to put some more glue on the other side. Get that glue down. And we should be good. Remember, don't go crazy with the glue because it might never dry. That'd be rubbish, wouldn't it? So that's that. Right. Again, if any of you are watching that are not here on the live stream, hello. Hope you're doing alright, having a good night or day or whatever. If it's the morning, you just woken up, I'll watch the live stream. Good morning. If it's you and you're overseas and you're watching this right now, hi. It might be early morning for you or very late at night, depending on where you're from. Right, we've got this frame on here now. We've got both frames on the bottom. It says check the wheels fit. So press the bearings in, place into axle box holes, attach the sole bars to the underside of the floor, done that, add wheels and check to see if they turn freely. I've put some glue in, but what we'll do is we'll put the wheels in and we'll make sure that's alright. That seems alright on that one. On one of them I did, it was really a real tight fit. Yeah, these are lovely. Absolutely lovely. So that's good. So what we'll do is we'll get them back out because we're going to need to get to some of that area, I think. Anyway. So it says to, right, cement the vacuum cylinder to the underside of the floor where it is indicated by the circle. Right, there's a circle just here. Alright, so that's where we're going to put it. So we're going to get the cylinder off first. So we'll snip that off. Alright. Chop that off. Right. And as it's a vacuum cylinder, a lot of these don't come with the vacuum pipes for each end. And I'm thinking, well, why not? Because, yeah, it doesn't make sense. If you've got vacuum pipes, I don't know if anyone knows anything more, but on my other ones I added the vacuum pipes, and I feel like I need to add vacuum pipes to this as well. What you could do is go on the internet and search to find one example of the mink wagon van with it on. Right, that's that. I just need to clean up this edge here. You can't even see what I'm doing. I do apologise. David Hinks. Hi Tris, this is the first time I've joined you live. Hello. I think you've left me comments on my channel, haven't you? Hopefully I replied. I tried to. Sometimes it doesn't always tell me when I've had comments. I have to go hunting for them. And you'd be like, so-and-so commented on your video 4 months ago. You're like, what? You didn't tell me? They're going to be very upset that I didn't reply. Right, so I want to put a little bit of glue on the area that's going to go here. that's that. And it's going to sit proud on this bit. It's a shame because it's just sitting on these two ledges, but it's not like it goes under any force. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop that on there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Right. Bit there. Bit there. I think that'll be enough. We'll let that dry. The next stage. What is the next stage? It says cement the V hangers 5 and 6. So it's got a little picture here. So 5 and 6. And we're going to put them in here. So I've got no V hangers on them at the moment. Got a little bug flying through. So on the sole bar, reversing the positions of 5 and 6. So start again. On the underside of the sole bar, vacuum cylinder the same. On the other sole bar. So I'm going to reverse them. So I guess they're different sizes. Okay. So we'll have it sitting like this. Okay. And we've got 5 and 6. So 6 is this one, 5 is that one. So we're going to put 5 on the left and 6 on the right. Do they sit behind it? Do they sit in front of it? Do they sit proudly? Let's look at the picture. Really not sure. I think it sits on top. I think they'll sit on top of that ledge and then they rest against this bit as it comes down. So let's do that then. So the first one, so 5 goes on the left hand side. So we'll cut that off. Do it from this way up because they've got a little spokey bit. Alright, that's off there. Let's cut that little bit extra off there. Right. And then we'll glue that in place. I'll put a little bit here. I can always add some more later, a little bit here, and I think I could put a little bit on here. Oh, it's the wrong side. Let's do the other side. We'll come back to that side. A little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit on here. Right. So does the pokey bit come towards me then? Or does the pokey bit come back? I just can't see. So cement the V-hangers, short tabs to the short tabs on the underside of the sole bar nearest the vacuum cylinder. The underside. So do I go this side? But it looks like it's in front of it. But then I've got a pokey bit. Does that stick out in front or go behind? I feel like it will go behind. I feel like I'd be silly to go forwards with it. So let's drop that on here. And then with our tweezers, we'll manipulate it. Oh, and I dropped it down. So easy, right? I twist it around so I've got a better look at it. Nope. How many more times do you think we're going to drop this? 2 more times? I think the glue's dried already. Right, let's get a bit more on there. Put a tiny bit here. Uh-oh. A bit more there. We'll gently walk it over. Right. That's that one. If I've done it wrong, well, only you guys will know. And you're not going to tell anyone, are you? Right, so that one's on there. Gareth Wright, hello. Hope you're doing alright. Yeah, if you guys want to join the channel, hit join. If you want to become a patron, do it that way. It just means you support me being able to do what I do. It's much appreciated. And yeah, anything is always helpful. Even if it's a good comment with a good bit of advice, I always appreciate it. Human City Junction, hello. Hope you're doing alright. Effingham, hope you're doing alright. We're having fun by the look of it, which is good. So let's do this other little A-arm piece that goes underneath it. That'll go on the other side now. That's cut off camera. then we've got little bits that stick up just there, so we'll just give them a snip. And that one. Cool. Let's have a go at this one then. It just went from 27 viewers, it said apparently, and now I've got 60. I was just like, oh, everyone's gone off. And then it's kind of like, oh, there's loads of people here. Hello, Lisk Whittle Road. That's a mouthful for me anyway. I hope you're doing alright. It's a new name I've not seen. Are you new to the channel, or have you been watching for many, many moons? Right, so that's on there. Guys, do you like the live streams? Is it something you'd like to see more from me? It's nice to do it. Obviously it takes a little bit of setting up. It means I get to work on a wagon whilst talking to you all as well. Yeah, I'm good, Gareth, thank you. It's busy. You are a patron of mine. Oh, you're definitely there already. So thank you. You should be on my list at the end of each video, your name. If not, I'm really sorry. It should be there. Yeah, you've been a patron for like a year or more than a year. David Hinks, maddest purchase. Accidentally bid on 25 tins of humble paint and won the auction. I'm sure you will use them all there, David. Fantastic. So you're painting coach wheels while listening and watching, like real big ones or like little model ones. Yeah, tweezers are very helpful, aren't they, Mr. Timbersurf? Good. Right, now we've glued on this side, we're going to glue on the t'other side. I've got a little bit of flash there or whatever from when I've cut off the sprue. Well, we'll wait for it to dry first before I try and doctor it. Right, let's do the other side. So I have to do the reverse now. We get the other one out. The nice thing is you get like spare vacuum pumps. So if you need to, you could always utilise them. Utilising is always good. So 6 is the longer one. So the long one, 6 goes on the right hand side. And this one I'll try and remove as much of the muck as before. Yeah, so the question is, would you like to see more live streams from me? That is a good question that I'm asking for out there. Flymo Chairman, hello. Long time no speak. And is there a particular time of day that you'd like me to do it? 11 o'clock at night? Hey Gareth, I couldn't remember if I was or not. Well, you've been spending money on me for a long time, so hopefully you'd realise your dosh going out. So I do appreciate it. That's 6 on. That's good. Well, thank you. It's good to know that it's worth doing. Because the worry is well, because you could just do streams and then people wouldn't find you interesting anymore. Or you could spend some time making nice, decent content, which takes forever sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered to edit, because that's the next kind of 3 nights taken up with messing around, checking the cuts and everything. Or I could just do a live stream and chat to everyone and see if people, well, how they are. I can engage. Because it's nice when people comment on the videos, because you feel like you've touched them in some way. Right, that's on. David Hinks, brilliant. I'll try and do a live stream like once a month or something like that, and we can all catch up. Nigel Sabin, good evening from Southport. Fantastic. I go to Southport for racing RC cars from time to time. Fantastic. Right, they're both on. So then it says, so this time the short hanger V right center. What's it telling me? Right, so cement the brake shoes on. No. Okay, wait. We've put it on the sole bar. Yeah, to the right. A is to the right of the center. Oh, I don't know. So there's a 1 there for a small thing. Oh, I don't know. These instructions are a little bit I think they're fine. Anything that I leave off, no one's going to notice. Cement the brake shoes assembly to the underside of the floor with the brake shoes in line with the wheels. As shown in the drawing, on the other side of the wagon, the brake shoe number 2 is opposite to number 1, and number 3 is opposite to number 4. Right. It mentions about EM modelers and about distances and various things. So, okay, fine. So we'll pop this back in here. And we'll pop this back in here. Now we're going to stick on some brake shoes. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it talks about opposites and bits and bobs. Let's snip them out. Actually, once you've snipped them out, they'll still be on the numbers, which is fantastic. It's a good idea, isn't it? Nothing worse than once you cut it off the sprue and go, oh, what was this number again? And then you're lost forever. So we'll do 1 and 2 first. So, I don't think there's a particular way round that we have to do it. This is 4, 1, I don't know. Let's see how these things line up. So, that's that. And 1 needs to go on the outside. I need to clean up the bottom of that edge first. Phil Railway Ranwell. It's nice to get answers to questions. Do you have any more questions? Nigel Ware, hello. What's the kit? The kit, Nigel, is Mink G Goods Van, and it's by Pico. Well, it's Parkside, but Pico are kind of still moulding it and selling it, kind of thing, which is fantastic. Just had a catastrophe there, it fell over. Right, so that all going to go on here. I see, and it says to glue them in line. I'm guessing that'll go about there. Right. Oh, don't leave paintbrush in there. Tweezers are very handy tools. I think you all agree. Just try and make sure that it's nice and square when you do it, and you're not actually putting brakes on the wheels. Right, so that's that. Looking very tidy. Happy with that. So it shows the brakes from one side. What about the brake from the other side? Do you have to cut off the... Because if I have this leg on here, it's going to be sitting in the air. And that's not very good. So it's only got brakes on the inside of the wheels by the look of the pictures. Yeah. So it's got a singular brake, not 2 lots. That's interesting. So the ones that you get on the other one, you're not going to use them at all. Let's see, so this one will only go on the opposite side. Jay Christiansen, what are the wheels made of? They're metal, these wheels. I couldn't bend them, so which is great because you know the old kits used to have plastic in. Hey J94, you alright? Tim Maslin, hello. I've got loads of people in tonight. It's great. Well, it's great to have you all in. If I do some live streams again, well, it would be nice to have you some more. Did my video help that I put out earlier to say, hi guys, I'm going to do a video? Was that helpful to you? Because I'm hoping it was. Because I'll do that again next time as well. Maybe I do a fresh video, not put the old one out again. You're like, that's the same as the last one that he did. Right. Right. And there we go. Right. It's looking pretty smart actually, with those brake bits in here. Gareth. Tweezers make the world go round. I built 1/8 scale models and doing spark plugs And leads, they are a lifesaver. Fantastic. Donegal Dad, hello. Hope you're doing alright. I felt a bit awkward. I saw that you were doing your thing tonight at 7:30. I was like, I should have done mine at like 8 or something, or 9, and had a late night. Very sorry. Paul of Bramley Junction, hello. Hope you're doing alright. All these names. It's fantastic to see them on. Right, we'll do the other side now of the brake parts. Da, da, da. Oh. Right, we'll just clean these up a little bit. We've got little bits sticking out here and there. On my other streams that I've done before, guys, I've read stories. Alright? I don't know if you guys want me to read you a story, because in the past it's gone down to here. I think most of the people, it's a concurrent viewers, go down to about 1. I always wonder if that counts as me. But that's how I finish off the video. I'll read you a nice little story and we go from there. Tim Maslin, I rewatched your videos and how you did your lift out section. Oh, thank you. I'm currently trying to create mine and using yours as an example. Mine's one way to do it. You know, a lot of people play with door hinges and all sorts of things. There's some fantastic ways to do it out there. And some really simple ways as well. Mine was a little bit overkill. But that's how I do things sometimes. I over-engineer, because I'm an engineer. I end up kind of overcomplicating it because that's fun, and not for everyone. I'd say it's not fun for everyone. Right, we're going to stick the last ones here to get the brakes on here. I feel like it's dried already. The flange actually touches that brake slightly on the other side. Let's do that, and then I'll put a little bit of glue on there, hold it in place. See the comments moving. Flymo, Donegal. I see. Yeah, that's what I do. Mine every Thursday. Well, normally I try and release a video every other Thursday, and I used to do sometimes a live stream and then the other Thursday, and yeah. So it's just one of those things. There's only so many nights a week, and you're going to conflict with someone, aren't you? Thursday night's always a good night for me because I do a bit of RC car racing and stuff and whatever. I do that either on a Friday, Tuesday. Got Model Railway Club on a Wednesday. Monday I'm just tired like everyone else after a busy weekend. And yeah, so that's why Thursday ends up being it for me, really. Hopefully I didn't affect you too much by being on. Probably didn't affect you at all, but you know, hopefully I didn't affect you. Let's see. Ah, is that the right way around? Let's do that. Right. Susty Road. Hello, Rachel. Thank you. It's coming together. Look at that. It's looking smart. Now, do we need a caffeine fix? Do it. Get yourself a cuppa. Cool. Emperor's Path. Hello. For your first time in, howdy. Hope you're doing alright. Right, the next bit. We've done the brake shoes. Put them on. Attach handbrake levers, D. Okay. And brake trunnions, E. That's my brake lever. I guess we put them on both sides, do we? Or do we just do one side? Which one's E? So we put that underneath. Do we do it on both sides? Or we do it under there, don't we? I don't know about that, because it might get in the way of my coupling bits, which we're going to attach as well. We'll put the handbrake bits on. Right, so the handbrake goes on this bit, and then we put one on the opposing one. Right, so we'll put some glue. I always feel a bit awkward about these because they always have to sit at a silly angle. Put a bit there, and then you put a little bit up here. So grab this, and then I drop them up here. So that's that one. Let that dry for a moment. Then we do the other sides. Hello, Tom Couples again. Glad everyone's getting acquainted with each other. Says I've got 67 people apparently at the moment. Crazy. We've got nothing better to do than come and hang out with me. It's not a problem, Tris. It gives me a chance to run my trains for a whole hour without getting disturbed. That's a good excuse, Mr. Donegal, Dad. Right, let's do the other side. We get that one on. We won't be painting it tonight. I think that's pushing it. My girlfriend get upset. She's being very patient as I'm here chatting away. But I think that I'd like to go see her in a bit. So what we'll do is we'll get this to the point that it's complete, but I'm not going to glue the lid on. And then we'll say goodnight. Well, I'm going to read you a story first though before I go. I reckon another 15 minutes, 20 minutes. What do you think? And we'll be good. You can't see that, can you? I'm all off camera. I do apologise. You should be shouting at the screen going, oi! I'm failing on this one, aren't I? What we can do is that's positioned nice and carefully. We use the paintbrush. And we'll tuck it in there. There we go, looking tidy. That's it, Magda. That's right, Mr. Tom. Let it settle before the roof. Oh, I see what. I'll glue the roof. Like, I'm going to paint it separately, so it's not going to get glued on until much later. So that's that. Cement buffer rings onto buffers B, so A and B. So we've got the buffer bits there. But then it comes with these. Do they go over the top of it or something? So these are the rings. I'm not so sure about these, but we can do some test fitting anyway, can't we? I need to come out a little bit. Is that out? Yeah, that's good. That's that, and then we've got a load of people. Are you going to run any trains tonight? Not tonight. I was running some earlier. I was running my 72XX around. It's looking beautiful. If you follow me on Instagram, you know what I'm talking about because that is a lovely loco. It's a nice freight 282 by Great Western Railway. It was the kind of a 280, whatever it was, a 2800 one day, I don't know what it was exactly, and then it became it was a tank engine version of that, and then it became a beast with a massive coal load on the back. So yeah, check out my Instagram and you'll see what I've been up to lately with that. That's Neal, if any of you get bored. I've also got Facebook, which has all the same stuff that goes up on there. It's quite nice because Instagram allows you to post on both at the same time, so that's quite handy. Hello, Richard. Hope you're doing alright. Nice to have you in. I'm doing well, and how are you, sir? Hope you're having fun planning some New Junction stuff. And I hope you had a nice birthday yesterday. I always assemble before painting because I'm going to airbrush it and I don't want to have to add any glue to melt any paint afterwards. It will only be the roof that I put on last. So. just clean up the buffers at the moment. Phil, would be nice if you do your chat earlier so we can talk to you for longer. Well, do you like chatting, do you? I would love to do that. Maybe I'll start at like 6:30 next time or something, and I'll just spend all night kind of chatting to you all. Would you be able to put up with me for like a 3-hour stint, would you? Would 3 hours be too long for you? I think my camera would overheat at that point, wouldn't it? Would like shut off. I'd still be ending it with the Thomas the Tank Engine story though, no matter what we do. Saw a nice little picture you put up on Facebook, Richard. Nice little 009 layout with that double fairy. I always want to say double fairy. Double fairy. Going around. Right, that's on there. Looks like I put these rings over the top. Is that the case? I think so. It's hard to see on the camera, but I've got these little rings. It says to post over the top, which feel very difficult to get over here. I've got a little bit of a edge. Not very good. See you soon, Rachel. You take care. Narrow enough. Leave him wanting more. Alright then. Maybe I won't do 3 hours. I don't know if I've got enough time to do all that in an evening anyway. Right, so that's one buffer. I need to clean these rings out. Challenge for you, Tris. Can you make the French engine Millie from the new Thomas the Tank Engine with your super resonance? I'd have to draw it first. The making bit's the easy bit. The drawing bit's the bit that takes you ages. Is that new as in like the season 25 or whatever it is, with the more toyish looking ones with no actual commods on the wheels? Or is Millie... I need to look up who Millie is. Hello, Nick Fortis. I've still got time to get my gym jams on before Tris reads us a story. Yeah. It'd be funny, wouldn't it? I'm just going to look up who Millie is from Thomas the Tank Engine. Millie. Thomas the Tank Engine. Bomb. Ugh. What's going on here? Millie just looks like a little 040. Oh, she's a narrow gauge engine. Oh, that's cute, isn't it? I guess you could. Haven't modelled a face before. Who thinks they're becoming the Fat Controller? The CGI ones. That's fair enough. I guess I could if I had the time and the chassis for it to go on. An appropriate chassis. Do you have a chassis, Richard, that you want me to put it on? Or is it something you want me to do for myself? Because I've got nothing to do with my spare time, have I? Thanks, Timbersev. I still want to do my Henry. Because I've got the one that my dad made me, but I want to make one out of a Tornado. I've got a Tornado chassis ready. I just need to start drawing the body. And I want to do my own version of Henry. Not in the way that the model series have done it, but obviously how I want to see him. Because in some of the early books, Henry was I think a 462. There were some pictures of him, and you see that wheel, just basically in the same as a Pacific wheel arrangement. And it's kind of like, for me, that's how he should be. Because Henry's my favourite, so therefore he's the best. I guess everyone has their own favourite. I like my Thomas stuff, by the way, guys. Just gonna put it out there. Right, let's get this last bit on the buffer. The holes aren't the right size on the rings for this, so it kind of mashes them out of shape slightly. So I have to, back of the knife, kind of pushing down, make them flat again. That's that. Just check it. J94. Back in August, I saw some props from Thomas and Tugs because there was an event going on at my heritage line. And I went to have a look around. That's very cool. My only Tugs prop that I've got is my Sunshine that my dad made me when I was tiny. And I sunk him many times. And I got him back eventually each time. Right, so that's our buffer. Does it even go in the hole? Oh, she's tight. Blimey. Oh. I feel like the thing's going to smash apart when I'm trying to push these in. Oh, that one's better. That's fair enough. I grew up, I was born in the 80s. So I grew up with Thomas as a little boy. He was injected into my soul. And then I became too cool to even acknowledge it. And then as I've got older, I'm like, I quite enjoy watching it all. Right, we have the buffers on. Don't these look cool? They're fantastic. Hello, Mick Treehouse. Yeah, well, you're kind of towards the end of all this, aren't you? I say, ooh, Sir Roberts. 5 French narrow gauge. Oh, Mitch, run. Right. We have that together. It rolls. It talks about painting now. It doesn't talk about, obviously we've got the little hook to go in there. We're not going to use the ones in this because they look pathetic. So I've got some metal ones that we can put in there. But I'm going to use some of these. These are by Pico Parkside. We will slice this off. What's going on here? How do I get them apart? I'll open it in from the end. So basically this is our little NEM coupling bits. And you get a little pack of these. And so then you've got your NEM bits each side. It's absolutely fantastic. So you cut them off, you glue them on. Bob's your uncle. Well, I used to have a Uncle Bob. Uncle. Right, we'll just get these off. I'm going to use my snips for these. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Right, and we get them off. And we're going to glue them in place. What I'll do to this, once off camera, is I'll put some weight on the inside of it. Fine. And then I'll put my hooks on, I'll primer it. I'm going to put some vacuum pipes on as well because I feel like I need vacuum pipes on this. Don't know if I do, but I have a feeling. Right, we're just going to put these on in here. We get the tweezers out to help us. Right, so that can sit there. That's good. And then we'll do the other one. That sits there. And that will have our little NEM socket sitting on there as well. Alright, and that sits there. Fantastic. Great, so that will be on there. So then we've got our roof, which I've got some glue that I've spilled onto it. That'll be sitting on top, but I'm not going to do that till later. So my plan is to primer it, then I'll paint it my Great Western grey colour. I'll be putting my transfers on. Obviously before that I'll be putting my vacuum pipes on my hooks. And then I'll be fitting the NEM bits once it's all together, as well as gluing this on. I'll be putting some weight inside, so probably about kind of 15 to 20 grams on the inside to make it run nicely. And that's that. Talks about a bit of history here. It says in 1931 the Great Western Railway built 100 vacuum braked goods vans with a 20-ton capacity. The diagram V22. For the carriage of goods traffic between main centres on the Great Western Railway system. They were not common user and did not regularly work off the Great Western Railway system until nationalisation. Fantastic. Right, Tim, you may have inadvertently provided a solution to replacing coupling problems. Could you give the Pico Parkside NEM socket code so I can look at them? Yep, so PA34. I've bought loads of these because I've got so many wagons I need to replace the couplings on. And yeah, it just It's a fantastic item to have. And you get, how many in a packet? You get 10 in a packet, so 5 wagons worth. So you'll be great. So that's what I use, because they don't provide it with these. But you can buy these and get them done. It's fantastic. Right. Eden Hall Estate, Cheshire, owned by Duke of Westminster, has a narrow gauge railway open twice a year. Fantastic. Right, let's put the top of our glue back on. I'm now going to read you a story before I go. You've had me for an hour and a half. I think it's time to read you a bedtime story, if you want to. So this one is the 8 famous engines. And we're going to find out a bit more about that. This book's fantastic with the illustrations on the insides. Absolutely brilliant. So I've got 68 people watching now. I'm going to see how many people disappear, because you're thinking, I am not watching this. But in the front of the book it says, "Dear friends, the Fat Controller's engines are now quite famous. They have been on the wireless, okay, and had many other adventures. But he had another plan too for his engines, and this book will tell you what it was." So this first story, we'll read you the first one, and that's it, and then we're going to bed, is Percy Takes the Plunge. Sometimes Percy takes stone trucks to the other end of the line. There, he meets engines from the other railway. One day, Henry wanted to rest in the shed, but Percy was talking to some tank engines. It was raining hard, water swelled under my boiler, and I couldn't see where I was going, but I struggled on. "Oh, Percy, you are brave." "Well," said Percy modestly, "it wasn't anything really. Water's nothing to an engine with determination." "Tell us more, Percy," said the engines. "What are you engines doing here?" hissed Henry. "This shed is for the Fat Controller's engines. Go away." "Silly things," Henry snorted. "They're not silly." Percy had been enjoying himself. He was cross because Henry had sent them away. "They are silly, and so are you. What is nothing to an engine with determination? Pah!" "Anyway," said cheeky Percy, "I'm not afraid of water. I like it." And he ran away singing, "Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain." Ha ha ha, he goes away. Percy arrived home feeling pleased with himself. "Silly old Henry," he chuckled. Thomas was looking at the board on the key and said, "And it's a danger." Okay, obviously, what does that mean? "We mustn't go past it," he said. "That's the orders." "Why, danger means falling down something," said Thomas. "I went past danger once and fell down a mine." Percy looked beyond the board. "I can't see a mine," he said. He didn't know what the foundations of the quay had sunk away, and that the railways now sloped downward to the sea. I've got 73 viewers. I can't believe this. Is crazy. "Stupid board," said Percy. For days and days he tried to sidle past it, but his driver stopped him every time. "No, you don't," he would say. But then Percy made a plan. One day, at the top of the station, he whispered to the trucks. He said, "Will you give me a bump when we get to the quay?" The trucks were surprised. They'd never been asked to bump an engine before. They giggled and they chatted about it the whole way down. "Whoa, Percy, whoa," said his driver, and Percy checked obediently at the distance signal. "Driver doesn't know my plan," he chuckled. On, laughed the trucks, and Percy thought they were helping. "I'll pretend to stop at the station, but the trucks will push him past the board, and then I'll make them stop. I can do whatever I like." I don't think so. If Percy hadn't been so conceited, he would never have been so silly. Every wise engine knows that you cannot trust trucks. They reached the station, and Percy's brakes groaned. That was the signal for the trucks. Go on," they yelled, and struggled forward together. They gave Percy a fearful bump and knocked his driver and fireman off the footplate. "Ow," said Percy, sliding past the board. The day was misty, the rails were slippery, and his wheels wouldn't grip. Percy was frantic. "That's enough," he hissed, but it was too late. Once on the slope, he tobogganed helplessly down, crashed through the buffers, and slithered into the sea. Look at that picture. Look at the size of the Fat Controller there. "You are a very disobedient engine." Percy knew that voice. He groaned. The foreman borrowed a small boat and rowed the Fat Controller round. "Please, sir," Get me out, sir. I'm truly sorry, sir. No, Percy, we cannot do that till high tide. I hope it will teach you to obey orders. Yes, sir. Percy shivered miserably. He was cold. The fish were playing hide and seek through his wheels. The tide rose higher and higher, and he was feeling his position more and more deeply every minute. Almost finished, guys. It was nearly dark when they brought the floating cranes, cleared away the trucks, and lifted Percy out. He was too cold and stiff to move by himself, and so he was sent to the works the next day on Henry's goods train. Well, 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 chuckled Henry. Did you like the water? No. I am surprised. You need more determination, Percy. Water's nothing to an engine with determination, you know. Perhaps you will like it better next time. But Percy is quite determined that there won't be a next time. Right. I hope you all enjoyed that. I enjoyed reading it to you all. Thank you for coming in and sharing the stream time with me. I enjoyed putting this nice little van together. I think we'll do it again sometime. You fancy it? Well, leave me a comment below if you enjoyed yourself. If you're watching later on, then, you know, leave me a comment to say watched it later on, loved it or hated it. If you don't like stories, well, that's not going. I like reading the stories. It's good fun. Thank you again to my patrons and my channel members. You're all fantastic. Thank you for the support. If you'd like to become one, click the join button or check me out on Patreon. If you just want to support the channel in the way of being a subscriber, leave a comment, give me a like, and what's the other one? Comment? We've already done that one. Who knows? Check out Neal on Instagram and Facebook as well. And I'll see you soon. Thank you so much again. Thanks for tuning in. You've been great. I've had great fun talking to you all. And see you next time. Bye-bye. Right.